moving into the first part of our series of clips about servant leadership, we're going to take a look at the importance of listening. Absolutely critical, and we've done several bits of work around listening, and I think it's really important that we delineate between cosmetic listening, you look as if you're listening but your mind's elsewhere, moving through engagement and into deep listening. And if you think about times, incidents maybe when you've been in a conversation, when you've been talking to somebody and it's quite clear that they're not listening to you or they're not fully engaged with you, you know the power of that disconnect. Well, taking a look at servant leadership, one of the essential components of it is that we are able to wholeheartedly engage with people, and demonstrate it by the way in which we're listening to them and responding to them. And I guess just one thing to add to that: stop strategizing, listen to what's being said, and the answers, the comments, the responses will come quite naturally. I hope you enjoy what we've got to say here, and thank you very much indeed. Bye now.
Reading the slide, you can see that there's a difference in a relationship here, that the value of communication and decision-making skills is very much from the leader outward. There's another component to this that you will of course be aware of, and that's the inputs. When we're getting those inputs, when we're listening to people, we need to convince them that we are listening to them in an authentic, present and deep way. From our coaching experience, we advocate that the balance between talking and listening for the person leading the conversation should be about 80-20. So 80% of your time you need to be listening and maybe asking developmental and probing questions. So hopefully you can see from this that what we're talking about is something a little more subtle than being present in the room. And what we're looking at here is maybe picking up those cues that allow us to clarify and then through deep listening to respond. So here's a question that we use quite a lot in coaching, and it is just, I remember you said, can you tell me more about that? What that indicates, of course, is that you are really engaged with the person or persons with whom you're having a dialogue. And I'm sure you can see from this it's far more dialogue based than it is about giving directions, instructions. Something else to consider here is the way we can pick up non-verbal cues, and that gives us an opportunity to ask people if there's something that they would like to develop, something that they would like to say. So it's far more about an intuitive relationship than a straightforward A talks, B listens, B talks, A listens. It goes further than that and allows us to think and develop more.
Hi, well, thanks very much indeed for joining me. A few ideas there about how we can develop ourselves as presenting and truly authentic listeners. One of the things that you might want to do is to, when you're in conversations with others, just check how you feel. Are you being listened to? And if you are, what are the positive feelings that generates? And if you're pretty convinced that you're not, what's the impact on you and your willingness to carry on? So a couple of things to consider there. And also maybe you'd want to think about what changes would you like to make to your current listening strategy so that you're able to engage with wholeheartedly in a timely and appropriate way with people with whom you're trying to build powerful, ethically valid, authentic relationships. Thanks very much indeed, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.